Hi there, hope you are well. So this here is a neural network, a deep neural network. So you have your neurons here, these are your neurons, and these lines here represent weights. So your neuron will have weights entering it, and then it will release information to another neuron, and like that. So this is the input, and then this is the output, right? So the neurons have activation functions, so it decides if it turns on or turn off. So turn on would be agreeing to the information and moving forward. Turning off will be the information is not useful. Other neurons will continue with the process until the output. So you can think of it as a lead closing, and when it's on, as a lead opening, allowing information to go through. So that's all you that's all you need to know. These are inputs, these are hidden layers, these are outputs. So now our brain is similar to this, right? But this is not drawn to scale. Our brain has billions of neurons. I think the figure is 80 billion. Yeah, I think for a normal human brain you have 80 billion neurons. Okay, so now this video is about free will, right? We are going back to free will. So now the argument of free will is that the information that comes from here, right, the input comes from your environment, and it then goes to the other neuron. So it separates it, so the weights go to different neurons, and then so the neuron then adds up the weights, right, and then it decides if it will activate or not activate, right? So there's an activation function in every neuron, and these are the weights. So you can see here three weights are going in. So after this neuron calculates, so this neuron has a function inside. After it calculates, so the activation function will then decide if it's a 1 or a 0. A 0 meaning that it will turn off, and a 1 meaning that it will turn on, right? So the information coming from here is coming from nowhere else but the environment. The information coming from this first layer here, so this neuron here, is coming from nowhere else but this neuron here. Even this neuron. So all the neurons, all the information that's going in all the neurons, it's coming from the neuron before. There's nowhere else. So that's the argument for free will, is that there is nowhere else that is independent that is causing you to make a decision. So this output here is a decision. So you can imagine as if you were trying to pick a flavor or something like that. So this would be your output. So when you go to a restaurant and you pick a flavor, you didn't make an independent decision. It's because of your environment, and it's because of how your brain calculated the activation function. But now you have what we call bias. So bias for your brain might be coming from the previous information that you know, whether you are living in the southern hemisphere, so you prefer things a certain way, or you're living in the northern hemisphere, or if you are in a warm place, hence you are less likely to buy ice cream when it's cold, even though every Friday you like to eat an ice cream, right? So that's where the biasness comes in. So does that mean there is no free will? No, not necessarily. The fact that you have that bias is also a sign of not free will, because it also comes from somewhere else. So yeah, there is no free will according to this model here, which is the neuron and what our brain is structured like.